Dative. My name is Timo, and I am a TEFL volunteer with Peace Corps Albania, but today I'm actually moonlighting as a ship volunteer. I've been asked to make this presentation to help some beginning and intermediate level Albanian speakers with the Peace Corps understand one of the more obscure and perhaps even misunderstood concepts of Albanian grammar, clitics. So we have from now to you, which hopefully by the end of this presentation you will understand are clitics, and discovering clitics. Thuaj, edi, and pëlqen. I very strategically plucked these phrases because they're very colloquial and ones that we'll probably start hearing from our first days speaking Albanian, especially edi. I think I learned this my first or second day as a Peace Corps Albania volunteer. It literally means I know it. The phrase edi has a clitic, and we probably don't even realize it. So clitics, they're everywhere and nowhere. So before boarding the ship, imagine an alternate universe. And I want to be clear that the reason I've created this alternate universe is because I have a bit of a theory. That the reason why people might not understand some of the more complex forms of Albanian grammar is because we might have forgotten what some of the more simpler concepts are from English grammar. So in this alternate universe, English pronouns are going to be taking a different form when they act as the direct object of a sentence. And remember, in English, we have a direct object, and it operates the same way in Albanian. We have a direct object when we can answer the question, what? And also for the indirect object, which again, answers the question to or for whom or what the action is done. So I'm going to give an example now of a sentence in English that has both a direct object and an indirect object. He gave a presentation to the Peace Corps volunteers. He gave what? A presentation. Presentation is our direct object. To or for whom? To Peace Corps volunteers. Peace Corps volunteers is our indirect object. So therefore, we're going to play a little game. In the case of direct objects, we're going to substitute the word fruitcake for him, polo by Ralph Lauren in lieu of her, and extreme motocross in lieu of us. In the case of indirect objects, we're going to substitute the phrase nuns having fun for him, Jumanji, mind you it has the exclamation point, in lieu of her, and speaker box / the love below instead of us. Take a moment, pause the video if you need a moment to wrap your mind around this, and I'll move on now. Using these new rules, can you rewrite these following sentences? And remember, we have our rules here, which I'll restate. For direct objects, we're using fruitcake, polo by Ralph Lauren, and extreme motocross in lieu of the English pronouns him, her, and us. In the case of indirect objects, we're now using nuns having fun, Jumanji, and speaker box / the love below in lieu of him, her, and us. So we have some example sentences here on our right. You're welcome to try and guess what the answer to these riddles will say could be using our new rules, but I'll give some examples of how some of these sentences would read using my new restrictions. So let's look at the third one. They ditched him at the Nickelback concert. So we'll ask the question, they ditched who? They ditched him. Therefore, him is the direct object. It's answering the question, who or what. Therefore, if we look at our handy dandy word bank, we'll see, oh, fruitcake is operating as him in the direct object. So they ditched fruitcake at the Nickelback concert. Let's look at the fourth one. President Obama gave the Medal of Honor to us. President Obama gave the Medal of Honor to or for whom? To us. Therefore, we have us, our pronoun, operating as an indirect object. So look at our handy dandy word bank, and we'll see that us is going to take the form speaker box / the love below, and now sentence 4 reads as President Obama gave the Medal of Honor to us. If you care to do the rest of your sentences on your own, go ahead and pause the video, but now I'll move on. So what's the purpose of this ridiculous exercise? I'm illustrating that in Albanian, more or less, they have the same overarching principle, but there's a few more rules to guide the use of clitics. The guiding principles. So what do we know now? Clitics come in direct object and indirect object forms. So now, in Albanian, the clitics are the short forms of these pronouns. The purpose of clitics is so that Albanian, as we know, is a pretty fast language. It makes Albanian easier and faster to pronounce and to use. So the clitics are the short forms of these pronouns. So they're therefore much simpler than swapping speaker box and the above below for us. Clitics are always, always, always going to come before the verb. So to use the examples that I gave at the beginning, thuaj, edi, and pëlqen, the clitics are m, e, and ta. And to use the example of edi, it will never read de, for example. And finally, this is maybe the most important thing about clitics, is that they are always going to accompany a verb. Most, if not every language has clitics, and what a clitic technically is, it's a smaller word that attaches to a bigger word to give more meaning or explanation to something. Therefore, what Albanian clitics are attaching themselves to are verbs. So therefore, we could never, ever, ever answer a question with a singular clitic, such as kush është ni Amerikan. You would never say ma, you would say un. A fun little photo to maybe help you wrap your head around this concept of clitics and verbs always being together. Albanian clitics and verbs, two peas in a pod. Without you, I'm nothing. With you, I'm something. Together, they are everything. And now a list that can be found in a grammar book, if you care to have it more readily available. But these are all forms of the indirect object clitics. And here we have all the forms of the direct object clitics. Remember, Albanian pronouns, like regular nouns, take cases. We are not quite out of the woods yet. There's a few more rules and a little wackiness ahead. Fasten your seatbelts. We have combined clitics. Two clitics can be used together, appearing as one word. They have the same meaning as if they were two standalone words. An example of this from English is were, spelled W-E'-R-E. Were is two words combined to have the same meaning as of the longer form, we are. The indirect object clitics comes before the direct object clitic. Indirect object clitic first, direct object clitic follows. These are only used in the case of the third person singular and plural pronouns, therefore specifying the clitics a and e, or him, her, it, or them in English. And there we have our list of these clitic forms. So you'll see ma and a, the first person singular and the third person singular are combining to make ma. Perhaps you've noticed something a little bit quirky. The subjunctive form of verbs and the second person singular clitic both take the form ta. Therefore, in this case, we are simply placing the clitic between the subjunctive ta and the verb itself, such as in these following sentences. Dua të më kosh, I want you to meet me. And ajo do të koja, she wants to meet you. The exception to this rule is with the third person singular and plural pronouns. A good little hack to remember some of the quirks of clitics is to remember that they often come with third person singular and plural forms. In this case, we're using a combined clitic form, such as in this following sentence, duam të e takojmë, I want to meet her, in English, becomes dua ta takojmë. In this sentence, ta is the combined clitic. I would like to thank you for watching this. If you have any more questions, feel free to email your LCF or Mira. I hope this sheds some light on one of the more, as I said, misunderstood concepts in Albanian. Best of luck in your service. Mira Pafshin.